This is Lucian Tudor for Intense Animation Academy, and today we're going to learn how to bake ambient occlusion. Okay, so here's our situation here. We have this nice model of a tiger. Okay, we have some lights. We have a main key light. We have a fill light acting this way, and we got a nice rim light acting from behind. Okay, our main camera is here and our main object is here. For the purpose of this lesson, I have already textured and UV laid out my object. Okay, let me bring it up. Okay, as you can see, it's all laid out, and I've already done a test render of the image how I have it at the beginning. Okay, it's looking like this. It's supposed to be a little marble statue. Okay, and I want to bake ambient occlusion. Okay, so first off is I'm going to set up its own ambient occlusion layer to tweak the ambient occlusion to a point where we like it, and then we bake it onto the texture. Okay, so we're going to go into the hypershade. We're going to go surface shader, and we're going to go create mental ray nodes, go texture, and click MIB ambient occlusion. Okay, we're going to connect it to its color. Okay, one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to make a new layer, a new render layer. So we click here and we click on our object and we create ourselves a new layer. Name it AO for ambient occlusion. Okay, and in this layer we're going to assign the surface shader. Once you assign the surface shader, your object should turn all black. Okay, I'm going to increase the samples to a respectable 64. Another thing before I do a test render is I'm going to select camera, and I'm going to make sure the background is turned white, because the ambient occlusion layer will be used as a multiply on top of a texture layer. The background would have to be white. Okay, so now I think we're ready for a test render. Okay, so our stone feline is looking okay in ambient occlusion layer, but it can be improved. One of the more obvious improvements can be if we go into hypershade. Okay, and we put 128. Okay, and then we go into the render settings and we take quality and we put it to production. Okay, and the filter, we're going to put it to Lanczos. Okay, basically the filter size is going to be 4 as opposed to 3, which was in Gauss. Okay, yeah, that's about it. And we're going to do another test render. Okay, as we can see, this compared to the previous one, it's not too much of a change, but it's looking good enough. Okay, so at this point I think we're ready to bake our texture, but there's a few things we have to make sure before. First off, we gotta set our project, okay, to wherever we think we want our file to be saved, because the ambient occlusion texture will be saved in the default file folder if you don't specify a specific destination. My next concern would be to check if all my normals are facing out. So I'm going to go display polygons. I'm going to cut this off and put face normals. Okay, from here it's looking pretty alright, but if I want to make sure, I go normals and conform, and all my even if there's a few stray normals, they'll conform to the majority. Okay, we take this. Another thing we gotta do, we gotta save our file. Okay, and then we're going to go into rendering, lighting and shading, batch bake mental ray. Okay, we're gonna click options. So objects to bake, we're gonna click selected, bake to texture for a single object, bake shadows, camera from camera 1. I'm gonna keep my original shading network. Okay, color mode, lights and color. Okay, I'm gonna keep this like this. Color mode also has occlusion, so whichever works for you, but I like to keep it lights and color. Normal direction, surface front. The resolution, you can change it to whichever you like. 1024 seems good enough. My format, I kept it in Targa. The number of samples, you can play around. The more you put, the higher the longer your render time. And my next thing, fill texture seams. I've put the number of 10. Its default was 1. So I'm gonna put the convert and close. Okay, so after a while, it might take quite a bit. Okay, so don't panic if computer sort of freezes for a while. It will come back. It's heavy computation. Okay, and your file is gonna appear here. Okay, it's basically located into render data, mental ray, light map. Okay, and it's gonna give you this whatever file. Okay, so what we do is we go into Photoshop. Okay, we go into Photoshop, and this is basically our file. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this file, open our texture file. Okay, this is my original texture file, and I'm gonna take the file, the ambient occlusion file that I had, and I'm gonna put it over it. Okay, and I'm gonna put it on multiply. This is gonna be its blending mode. As you can see, it darkens the appropriate areas. Okay, my next step would be to flatten my image. Okay, and save my file as a different version of my texture, just to avoid any situation. What my original color was Arch Model Color, and I've put Arch Model Color AO. Okay, back to our Stone Tiger. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Hypershade. Okay, I'm going to map out its network of shaders. It's a little bit complicated, but the main one I'm concerned with is the color. Okay, as you can see, you can just double check by just holding your arrow over one of these lines, and it'll tell you which one is the color. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this node and import this one instead as the texture. Okay, everything else stays the same. Okay, I'm going to check the quality. I'm going to put this one to Gauss. Okay, I'll put on global illumination just for kicks. And I'm going to put render, save this image, and do a render. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is a much more dramatic look compared to this. So I'm just going to get rid of these images in the middle. Okay. Okay, aside from the changing background, because I still left it from a previous time, it was still black. Okay, you can see that our little statue gains all these nice little shadows here, all this occlusion, without any extra render time. Actually, let's check our render times. Okay, mine's a little bit higher because I've used higher settings. Okay, but this shouldn't affect your render time at all. It will still be the same texture, and it will solve you a lot of headaches. Okay, on behalf of Intense Animation Academy, this is Lucian Tudor wishing you farewell.